Hey, everybody. So I just had the most interesting guest. I just finished recording my show, Postcards to the Universe, Creating the Life You Crave. And my guest today was Mary Medeiros, and she is she's an advanced Akashic Records practitioner, and she's an author. And her book's called The Akashic Way, Living Through the Lens of the Akashic Records. And you can see that the show records live. So it's already, if you're watching this video, that video is already up. You can see it on, if you're watching on YouTube, go under the live recordings and you'll see the show. But what was really, really interesting is I was getting a lot of aha hits when Mary was talking, because what she's getting, and she and you can read in her, she talks about her journey in her book and everything. But what she's getting is not that there is darkness there is no darkness in the Akashic Records, and there really is no darkness here. It is the lack of light. So when she was saying, when I asked her, well, what's happening in the world? And, why is all this happening? And we're seeing so much. And she's saying, the thousands of years of this collective ego, where we're all in our minds, this ego base is just compiling on top of each other. That the people, my interpretation, now this is my interpretation, is the people in control of the monies in the world and everything. It's not that they're dark, it's that there is no light. They don't allow in the light, because the only thing that, from her perspective and what she knows from her access to the Akashic Records, is there is no darkness. It's all light. It's all love. And if we are experiencing anything that we call darkness or bad, even though we know in our physical world, this is not to, sugarcoat anything and saying, we're watching people dying and getting hurt and getting assaulted and things that have happened to children and abuse, and it's crazy. And not saying that, oh, well, there's no bad. That's not what she's saying. She's saying it's because there's no light in their hearts, basically. Okay? Because these are my words now. This is my interpretation from our conversation, and you can see. So let's say, somebody who could cause war, there's no light in their heart. There is no love in their heart, because the person who has the love in their heart, and she touched on the heart math. You should check that out, Heart Math Institute. It's very fascinating about, it's not that we're coming from our minds, but where we really need to be coming from, and which we're discovering now, is coming through our heart, about how our heart energy extends out way further than our minds do, which is fascinating. But, if you are a heart-centered person, okay, and you live from a place of love, right? You live from that place of love, which is what we all have access to. And we all have access to our team, and we all have access, according to Mary, through our own Akashic Records. And she talks about that, how you can find and you can access your own Akashic Records. So if we're coming from that place, all of us, there would be no war. There would be no violence. There would be no hurting of children. There would be no hurting of the environment. There would be no wars, no murders, no killings, right? Because we're living from our hearts. So the people that are the perpetuators, who we will say are the perpetuators of the violence, or the predators, as we like to say, and as we like to think of it, their hearts are completely blocked off to any kind of love. So it makes you think, in a different way, that, we see billionaires, and I'll use Bezos as an example. I mean, Amazon, what a great idea, right? You can employ thousands and thousands of people, and you do, and you have an opportunity. I mean, how many billions of dollars does he have right now? And, big wedding in Venice, millions of dollars, movie stars were there, but you hear what the workers are saying about how they're treated, about how they're not being paid a living wage, about how, people are getting hurt and they're not paying out claims, how people have even died. I mean, you don't even have storefronts. You just have warehouses, right? You have all this money. You could fly anywhere. You could live 10 lifetimes on the money that you have. You could probably feed the whole of, I don't know about the whole of the world, but at least a continent or two, right? Where nobody could go hungry. But he has no love in his heart. If you think about it like that, like, I wouldn't want all of that. Like, if that was the trade-off, it's gross. It's really gross. Like, he thinks that him jetting around and he's living this life and he's living, can go wherever he wants, can buy anything he wants. But inside, he's not happy. There is no joy because there is no love. He has no love, doesn't know what love is, doesn't feel it. His heart is completely closed off, because a person who had love in their hearts would treat the people that work for them as part of their family and would treat them well, right? That's what tells me. So you could say, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know him. You're right. I don't know him. But from his actions, I do know. And the same thing with the orange felon in the White House. He has no love in his life at all. He has no joy in his heart. And that's why he needs to bully everybody else and feel so important that he keeps trying to get statues built, ballrooms built, things in gold. Like, that's going to make up for it. Because if he did, he couldn't have hurt the people that he's hurt throughout his life, the women that he's hurt. I mean, he is an adjudicated rapist, right? He is. Ask how many people who never got paid by him. These are the things that are just, we actually have record, the 34 count felony counts. That's just what's on record. Everything else, is being investigated now, and we'll see. But you've heard what he has been accused of. So imagine the hatred that he must live with inside of himself. But he gets to brag that he's so-called president. Okay. I wouldn't trade. I mean, well, certainly wouldn't trade my life to be but somebody who is like a, billionaire, and, who has, you see this extravagant lifestyle, and it's like, I mean, Jeff Bezos is, oh God, her name just left my head, his ex-wife. I mean, she is the complete opposite, obviously, why they divorced. You can see why. And she's a philanthropist, and she loves to give money away, and she loves to help other people with the privilege that she has. And I can tell you what, she has love in her life. She has love in her heart, right? So these people that are doing these nefarious, horrible things, there's no joy. So no amount of money, when they say money can't buy happiness, I mean, yeah, but to me, I got this on a deeper level. Because when Mary was talking about what is in our Akashic Records is there for us, is for us to live a life of joy and love. And you're wasting your life with more money than God with no joy and no love. Ugh. No. So I just wanted to share that. I thought that was really, really interesting. God, I mean, how sad is that? How sad is that? That the only way you can feel important is by hurting and oppressing other people. I mean, who cares if you have $40 billion? You have $40 billion, but you get off on hurting and oppressing other people? You think that that's a happy person? You think that's a joyful person? And some people would say, well, you have these psychology, these personality disorders, right? Like sociopaths and narcissists. And that's all true. There are personality disorders that do actually find joy in watching other people suffer, but they're soul sick. So they don't have real joy. They don't have real love. They have a sick soul. So that's much deeper than a moment of laughing at somebody. People who have those kind of psychosis that get off on seeing other people hurt, that's a soul sickness. There's no love there. There's no joy there. So yeah, I wouldn't trade $100 billion to be that kind of a person for the kind of person that I am. And most of us wouldn't, if we think about it. Anyway, I was just wanted to record a short video about it because I was thinking as I was listening to Mary, and it was really, really interesting about what we have access to, and the fact that we can all access our own Akashic records is really, really interesting because, think about all that knowledge is there for us. I just love the fact that these conversations are happening and that things are opening up, and, people are talking to people who do this, and, reading, tarot cards and connecting with spirit and meditating and all of this stuff, and meeting like the elementals that are starting to show up in my life. It's just awesome. It's just awesome, man. All right. Well, anyway, I just wanted to share that with you. So if you're interested in about the Akashic Records and that's something that you really want to find out more, watch the show that I recorded earlier. Mary, make sure I pronounce her name. I'll tell you the name of her book too again. Mary Medeiros, and her book is The Akashic Way, Living Through the Lens of the Akashic Records. It was a really, really interesting conversation. We could have talked for 3 hours. Okay, I hope everybody's doing well. I would love it if you would comment. And yeah, I'd love to hear your story if you've ever had your Akashic Records read, and what information you got, like how that was for you. See, the sun is coming through. Ooh, where is it? It comes and goes. Yeah, if you've ever had it and what that was like for you, I would love to hear your story. Please share and please like, and all the stuff. Comment, share, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Okay, everybody, sending you all lots of love. See you next time. Bye.